Welcome to the Mind of Business Success podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Cramer. I have Priscilla with us. We are going to get into you as the visionary leader in your business. And it's not always rainbows and butterflies. As a visionary leader, we are going through our own challenges, our own up leveling. Sometimes we have to face some of that undesirable inner stuff in order to break through to that next level. And we're going to be talking about that today. Welcome to the show, Priscilla.
Thank you for having me, Alicia.
This is one of those deep transformational conversations. Sometimes when I have a guest on, we're talking about the tactical, practical side of business or leadership. And sometimes we go a little bit deeper, and these are important conversations. We don't always want to be operating at the deep, healing level. Sometimes we do need to be in the day-to-day operational side of our business. But you had indicated that there are a lot of a lot of people, a lot of business owners who are experiencing upheaval. It's been an interesting year. And a lot of people are feeling old stuff coming to the surface. They're very acutely aware of that inner desire for growth and expansion and stepping into that new elevated version of themselves. And anytime we have that desire for that up leveling, that also comes with all of that shadowy stuff that rises to the surface that we must transition beyond in order to be that next level version of ourself. So I'd love to start by talking a bit about this from your perspective, because this is some of the work that you do in your business. So I'm going to hand the mic over to you, so to speak, and let's get into this phenomenon and how you are helping your clients to make this type of transition and really step into and own that next level of leadership.
It's a great question. Thank you, Alicia. I think my clients are very similar energetically to me. So as I describe elements of myself, I'm describing what they're going through in a similar version. They're purpose and mission driven, they're ambitious, they're spiritual by design. They are here on the planet to shift paradigms of consciousness and to realize their fullest potential. They are committed to understanding and leading from their soul's highest vision for them and to realizing what they're here to contribute to the planet in this lifetime. Money, of course, is helpful. They're already established on average because that's who I serve best. And they're visionary. They see a better world, they know a better world is possible, and they know that it's part of their life's mission to change that. And as we know, that comes with spiritual growth, and business is very much a spiritual practice in real time. And, as you were talking in the introduction, I had this, I think it was Charles Dickens, right, that said it was the best of times, it was the worst time of times. It feels this year like it was the best of years and it was the worst of years. And it kind of became this really deep hodgepodge, both in terms of a personal experience of the year and also a collective experience of the year. Between friends who've gone through hurricanes, deaths, shifts, unexpected health issues, business challenges, money issues, sort of like what the heck moments, and like, how did this happen? How do I confront this? And as I was telling you, I think that we're all holding a lot, both within the business for clients. Then you start going into the outer rings, right, for our families, extended families, animals, pets, communities. And then how are we holding ourselves along all of this, right? And as we are shifting into higher consciousness, as we are going through that up level, the stuff does come up. And I like to be honest, real, and raw. I'll give examples for myself. Coincidentally, this was the year that in June I launched a project 14 years in the making, my highest level offering ever, working with visionary leaders who have amassed significant wealth and influence, are now at this place of asking, what do I do with all this money that really represents the legacy that I'm here to leave mankind? That's got my unique fingerprint, that's a creation of my own, and that transcends giving to charity. I launched this in June after years of inner work and preparation. It was a jubilee of excitement and literally my knees knocking with every one-on-one conversation. So it was the best of times in that I actually started, this was birthed into the world. Simultaneously, my dog starts having seizures and gets sick. I injure my foot. Shortly thereafter, my husband loses his job and is wondering what he's going to do with his life at 63. I am in pain. I can't go to yoga. I don't do all the things I usually do. I am feeling discombobulated, ungrounded. And, sometimes once you launch a really big project, it's so exciting. And then you start to get into the day to day every week. Every week, I would make phone calls to 3 or 5 connection points, asking for referrals and sharing about my vision. And there came a point where that started to also be the grind and the grit of this. When am I going to get there? How long is this going to take? And the compounded stress of the shifts in my life, of the what the heck moments, started to make me have to look inward, right? As because I was looking for comfort and something to make me feel better. And then I had to look at a couple of old patterns, right? It always comes down to, I hate this phrase, but I think it's true, right? What you're not changing, you are choosing. What you're not changing, you are choosing. And I saw somebody write that a couple of months ago, and I was like, damn it. And it's not I don't believe in shaming or, judging someone, but it's just like maybe you're not ready to change it, but just are you aware that you are consciously not yet choosing it? And so last year, a huge pattern disrupt was codependency and abdicating responsibility around my finances and around really owning how much I wanted to make and the depth and breadth of impact that I really believe in. My program, my 6-figure program that I launched in June, is for high-level visionaries that are here to literally make a dent in the universe with a massive vision of impact. I had to own that for myself. I had to own that I work and I would do well with affluent people, that I come from an affluent background. I had to own more of me and claim and take more space in that arena, which was scary. And as I did that, I also then had to face yet again the pattern, an old pattern of trying to rescue people from themselves. My husband was sick for a while. I took on way too many responsibilities at the time it was helping him, but it just perpetuated, which goes back to if we're creating a dynamic that's not working, we have to look at the root belief that is perpetuating that pattern that is likely rooted in fear. My fear was if I don't take care of my husband's health, he is not doing a good job of caring for himself. He has chronic conditions. He could die. And I'm not willing to accept or face that possibility. So I am going to do everything I can to stop that. That also meant that my dog got very sick and we came close. It seemed like we weren't going to lose her, and I wasn't ready to face that reality. So I was going on overdrive, right? As I told you, I felt like the Hoover Dam was about to burst, and I was trying to use my 2 little hands to say, no, I'm strong and mighty. I'm not going to let the dam burst. But that was a massive expenditure, right? Because I wasn't willing to face the fear. Just this week, I told my husband, I'm delegating all of your medical and prescription stuff back to you. And it's hard because I want him to do a few more things and tests. And he was like, I'm good. And I'm like, no, 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 you have to. I was like, no. I had to reclaim my new mantra. This is yours to choose. I'm going to be okay with whatever you choose because I need to choose myself. I need to trust myself in the process of all of this and let go because I'm drowning. I literally was drowning. And we probably have some area in our lives where we overcompensate, overgive over something because we're afraid of the consequences or because it's comfortable to stay the way we're doing things, but it comes at a greater and greater cost. And so once I literally became kind of unhinged, as I told you 6 weeks ago, which I never thought I would say, like my body physically hurt just to wake up because of so much tension that was built up. I had to start to change. And I asked the question, what do I need to get back into center? And so it was clear that I needed to redelegate what was not mine to do, that did not need to be done by me. I had to create space with my mother and I because she was depressed and lonely and calling all the time and extra needy. Couldn't save her from herself either. And I began doing weekly theta healing sessions to really ground and manage my nervous system, slow walks because I can't do a lot with my feet yet. And we were able to stabilize my dog for now. And I had to recoil from everything that wasn't urgent. I had to create space, lots of space, canceled things, moved things, said no to things. And after 3 weeks, I started to feel a significant shift in my own sense of centeredness, calm, and oddly enough, that desire to control and fix, which is a trauma response. Mind you, I see 5 steps ahead, right? Because I don't want to manage what could come. If I can control it now. Slowing down sort of felt like it sped things up. Like I was building that muscle of trust and patience. As I'm launching a new Akashic Records training, as I'm still making calls for my program clinical purpose, as I'm still servicing existing client base, they're established service-based women entrepreneurs whose businesses are designed to serve the greater good. Many of them call themselves mystics, visionaries. In my so fluent leadership archetype framework, there are the mystics, the visionaries, and the divine feminines. There are 5 different archetypes. Most of my people are visionaries and mystics, although they all have a undertone of visionaries. And so it's been a hard year. Just like felt like one thing kept coming after the other. Financial stressors, health insurance shifts. Like there was so many things to navigate. And because I'm capable, I would do it. Because I'm strong and I'm resilient, I did it. But that also came at a price. I had to even not give so much attention to business as I could because everything else was just like leaning me that way, like the Tower of Pisa. And so I think first it's a reminder to have grace and compassion for ourselves. We are holding a lot, and the world is dealing with a lot. So, how do we stay true to ourselves? How do we stay centered amidst all of this? You start by asking a question. What will it take for me to have more space? And I had this notion when my body was hurting that I really wanted a weekly massage. And I asked myself, what would it take for me to have a weekly massage? With everything that's going on, I just didn't feel comfortable spending hundreds of dollars a month on massages that could be spent elsewhere. And so I immediately heard the word trade. And I was like, I don't really do trades. And so I posted in the local Facebook group. I said, I'm doing in sort of a massage therapist for exchange for massage. I got 16 responses. And I'm currently working with 3 different massage therapists the way I designed it. I have weekly massages. One of them comes to my house. One of those massages I'm going to give to my husband. And it has been a gift to my body, so the stress doesn't compound. It's a gift of me receiving instead of giving, and kind of moving the balance back between giving and receiving. And oddly enough, stepping back allowed me to trust the universe so that I could receive so much of what I was giving out. And it was been amazing. So, and also just to remember, yeah, stuff's been really hard. And to not deny that. I would never say it's easy. My clients have also gone through family stuff, health stuff, all the stuff, menopause stuff. I'm in perimenopause. Most of my friends are too. I'm 50 now. And I still remind myself, keep the eye on the prize. How do I stay true to myself? How do I stay well in the moment and overall? And how do I stay focused on my business goals, which is to get Pinnacle Purpose off the ground, sign the first client, and then get up to 5. Finally got to a Chamber of Commerce event that was like snowing in the middle of the mountains. We made it, got me out there, and Depth of trust, depth of receiving. Like, what are the muscles that we need to flex more? What are the habits and patterns that we can revisit, re-examine, and shift? And where can we allow grace and miracles in this and ask better questions? Because what's been doesn't have to be what will be, because we are the amazing choosers that we are. So that was a lot, but pretty much, yeah.
Well, this is probably the most appropriate time then for me to ask, how can our listeners connect with you? How can they learn more about the services that you're offering and explore taking that next step with you?
Absolutely. They can go to my website, priscillastephan.com.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being so vulnerable, sharing your wisdom through your challenges, which we all have. Um, And hopefully, this has been inspirational for others who are going through their own unique version of this kind of chaos in the up leveling of themselves and of their business.
Absolutely. And know that there's nothing wrong with them. They're not doing anything wrong. It's just part of the process.
It is. It is part of the process. And you're right. We can't blame or shame ourselves. We have to stay in that energy of love and openness and just having grace
And trust.
and trust. So, with that, thank you all for tuning in for another episode of the Mind of Business Success podcast. Until next time, we will see you in the next episode.